The top-ranked Wisconsin women's hockey team captured the WCHA Regular Season Championship for the second year in a row and 11th time in program history with a sweep of St. Cloud State last weekend here at LaBahn Arena. On Saturday, Kelly Gorbatenko scored 4 goals. Lacey Eden had 5 points with a hat trick and her 100th career goal in a 9-2 win over the Huskies. And then on Sunday, Eden scored again and assisted twice in a 4-2 victory that clinched the title. Now, with all 5 Olympians back, the playoffs begin. The Badgers get Bemidji State in the first round of the WCHA postseason this weekend. And head coach Mark Johnson will join us here in just a bit. Meanwhile, the Wisconsin men's hockey team earned a series split against second-ranked Michigan at the Kohl Center. Friday night, Quinn Finley, Vasily Zilanoff, and Adam Pietila scored in the second period to erase an early deficit. Jack Horbach, the senior, with an empty net goal to finish off a 4-1 victory. Eli Pulver stopped 22 shots for the victory. And then in the finale on Saturday, in front of a Kohl Center record crowd for hockey of 15,511, Christian Fitzgerald gave Wisconsin the early lead with his 15th goal of the season. But that was all the Badgers could muster in a 3-1 setback. Wisconsin will visit Penn State in a couple of weeks, and we'll hear from head coach Mike Hastings in just a moment. I'm Brian Posick, and this is the Badger Hockey Digest.
The Badger Hockey Digest, presented by UW Health.
Have you heard people say women's sports are having a moment?
It's not a moment.
Moments are fleeting. They come and they go.
This isn't just a moment.
But success is nothing new at Wisconsin.
History in Wisconsin.
There's a history here.
Age championship.
So let's celebrate women's sports for what it really is.
It's not a moment.
It's not a moment.
It's a movement.
And you're invited to come along for the ride.
UW Health, proud title sponsor of Badger Women's Sports.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle.
Well, Mike, Michigan has the highest scoring team in the country. You give up only 4 goals. One was an empty netter. They managed only 48 shots on goal. Your club played well enough to win both of those games last weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, I feel like you left a little bit on the plate, but we're getting better. You know, we've gotten healthier and able to get back to our depth. And I thought we were good defensively, just need to be a little bit better offensively on Saturday.
Yeah, what were the keys defensively against them?
Well, not creating their transition, because they're probably one of the best in the country, and then just making sure that everything they got, they earned getting into our zone. And then we needed goaltending. And I thought Eli did his job as far as giving us an opportunity to win 2 games. And so for us, I thought we played a lot more connected. Even though we didn't score, I did think we had some really good looks there on Saturday to try and get the sweep.
Yeah, Eli Pulver stopped 44 of 47 shots and was named the Big Ten's 3rd star of the week. We saw Christian Fitzgerald, the senior forward, continue his production too. He's got 9 points during a 7-game point scoring streak. Nice to see seniors finish strong.
Yeah, that was a special night on Saturday. Sorry we couldn't. It was a little bit depressing that we couldn't send them off with a win, but that group's been very important to us. You look at Ben Dexheimer and Fitzy, who you're talking about right up front. They've been guys that have been carrying us here for a while, and so hopefully we can rely on that group throughout the end of the regular season here.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun watching the young guys develop too. Grady Deering's really come on, hasn't he?
Ooh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Playing a lot of different roles. Secondary on the penalty kill, but really him, Brink, and Pietila have been a line that we've been able to, whether we're at home on the road, put up against the other team's top 6, and they've done a really good job defensively. But the thing that I think started to really shine for Deering is he's contributing offensively too. There's such an honest line, whether they're in our end or their end, and they're being rewarded for that.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about this. The fans both nights were outstanding. A Kohl Center record 15,511 on Saturday. That place was hopping, and they've been fantastic all year long.
They have been. One thing I learned a long time ago when you talked about Wisconsin, if Wisconsin can put a product on the ice that the people can be proud of, they're going to come out and watch. And they definitely did. Shout out to the Crease Creatures. I think we had 2,100 on Friday, and then to have that place as full as it was, it makes it a very special home advantage.
Yeah, speaking of special, the U.S. Olympic teams both won gold medals over in Italy. I know you're very close to a lot of the gentlemen on the men's staff, including David Quinn, Bill Zito, former grad assistant at the University of Wisconsin. Tip of the cap to them. That was quite an accomplishment.
Absolutely. Our entire country is benefiting from their work. And to see it unify our country the way that it has is something that's very special. But the work that goes into that, and was able to see some of the women's players when they came back, and they put a lot of work into what they're doing, and for them to be rewarded with gold is something that they'll have for the rest of their lives.
Exactly. And finally now, the Badgers off this weekend. They'll wrap up the regular season at Penn State. So what's your plan here for the next few days?
Well, we needed to get a little rest, get healed up a little bit, and that's what we've done for the last couple of days. And now it's about crossing T's and dotting I's. We don't want to lose momentum from the way that I think we've played over the last 6 games here. And so a little bit of rest, but back to work this week and try and get some details ironed out so that we can be in our best spot when we head to Penn State next week.
Yeah, and you put yourself in better position nationally, too, with your performance last weekend. That helps.
Yeah, and with the hiccup we had earlier, we need to. And we've got to continue that through this week, get better, and be as prepared as we can, as I said, when we get to Penn State.
All right, have a good week.
Thank you.
Sure, the Badgers idle this week, then head to State College to take on Penn State next Thursday and Friday. Both games will start at 6 o'clock on the Badgers Sports Network and the Varsity Network app. The Wisconsin women's hockey team getting ready for the postseason. Head coach Mark Johnson joins us next on the Badger Hockey Digest.
Dear Winter, we're coming. Our squad of vehicles, with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, is ready to take you on. Safety's the name of our game. Bundle up. Toyota. Right now, lease a new 4Runner for $469 a month, or lease a new Tacoma for $329 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Clear your path to a great career today. Climb to reach your career potential with no loans and no debt, so you can earn while you learn. A Wisconsin Operating Engineer's Apprenticeship is your opportunity to work outdoors and get heavy equipment experience. Partner with your employer for serious pay, great health and pension benefits. Acquire real-world experience while building Wisconsin together. To start your career journey, visit join139.com today.
Well, the top-ranked Wisconsin women's hockey team won its second straight WCHA regular season championship and 11th overall with a sweep of St. Cloud State last weekend here at LaBahn Arena, joined by head coach Mark Johnson. Doesn't get old to win a trophy, does it?
No, I mean, and every one has got a little different journey and a little different itinerary to it. It took us to the last game of the regular season and the last game in the WCHA on Sunday afternoon, or actually Sunday morning, and so yeah, it was very rewarding, and obviously puts us in a good position as we start the playoffs. We get our kids back from the Olympics, and so we start that process of getting ourselves away from the regular season and the mindset of the playoffs. So I'm excited to see what we're able to do this weekend against Bemidji, and hopefully we have some success and move on from there.
Yeah, before we look into the playoffs, what your team was able to accomplish without the 5 Olympians is pretty special, going 6-2 and then winning that regular season championship. It's funny how the young ladies considered themselves the B team, and they got the job done.
They did. We became a team within a team, and give them a lot of credit. We put the C on Lacey Eden's jersey, and she really led this group. Raya did a great job of giving us an opportunity to win all of those 8 games. We ended up winning the 6 of them, but more importantly, we got to the finish line, and I think they take a lot of pride in what that Group B, as they called themselves, were able to accomplish, because they became a team. They united, they created energy amongst themselves, and When they went on the ice, they were a confident group, and you could see that as each series built after the Minnesota victory on Saturday up there, and then again our second game against Ohio State. You could see and sense something special was being built, and the 2 wins on Mankato, as you well know, weren't easy. Came away with that, and then unfortunately for us, St. Cloud started to get those Olympic players back, and they had 2 or 3 of them on our game Saturday. And then when I came in Sunday morning, I looked down, and all of a sudden the Swiss girl's there, and she's playing, and she's a good player, and it's like, oh, this isn't going to be easy. And so it was a tough task, but our kids played as a team, and they got rewarded with it.
Yeah, Lacey Eden had a heck of a run during this 8-game stretch. She now leads the country in scoring. I don't know much more you can ask of that young lady.
No, and the people that know her story and the disappointment that she had a month ago when she wasn't selected to the Olympic team was received really hard. I mean, she put a lot of time and energy, put herself in a position to make that team, and unfortunately it didn't transpire. But she took it upon herself. She took that piece of adversity in her life and put this team on her back, and willed us to the finish line and got us to where we wanted to be as far as winning our league championship. So I give her a lot of credit, and as you mentioned, she played really well and probably saved her best 2 games for the last 2 games when we needed her the most. And so I was happy for her, and she was the one that had probably the biggest smile on her face when she was hoisting that championship trophy Sunday afternoon.
And you mentioned Raya Stewart too. She did a nice job in between the pipes, and now you have Ava McNaughton back from the Olympic team, and Layla Edwards and Kirsten Sims and KK Harvey and Adela Shapovalov from the Czechians too. But the one thing with these past 8 games, you've got more depth maybe than you originally thought when that stretch started.
Yeah, the confidence amongst the players that were behind and played more minutes helps us, and so now we're in a position, if we stay healthy, to have more options and more kids that you can play in certain situations, because we've learned more about them, given some of the situations they've been in the last month. So we're in a good position, but that's not going to win hockey games for you. You still have to go out and earn those things, and we'll see what energy level and level of play we come out with Friday against Bemidji, and so I'm anxious to see that. It's sort of like starting the season over, which it is, because now you're playing in the playoffs, and so we get these new players back, and here we go.
All right, and you've been through winning an Olympic gold medal before. You see the men do it, and you see the women do it as well. And the smiles on the faces of Layla and KK and Kirsten and Ava for Team USA. What a moment for them, and that'll live forever.
It really was, and I figured out, especially Sunday, we wake up and we watch the men's game at 7 to whatever, and then we participate in our own game here. And I was thinking that I was leaving LaBahn, and how special that day was for a lot of different people that were involved in hockey. And then it sort of clicked back to my dad. It was a great day for hockey, and it certainly was a great day for hockey. And we saw that last Thursday when our U.S. women team were able to get to the finish line and win in overtime. And then again Sunday morning. So it's a special moment for those people involved, but a special moment for a lot of people outside the rink too. As I said at my press conference Sunday, the players that won the gold medal and the support staff, I mean, it's really special. They got something that's going to provide a memory for a long, long time. But the real winner, last Thursday and Sunday was hockey. We saw that 46 years ago when I was part of a team that won the gold medal in Lake Placid. But the big winner that came out of that was hockey, because you'd listen to the different players that played in the '84 Olympics or the '88 Olympics. Part of their dream started when they saw us play in Lake Placid, and so for what we saw last Thursday with the women, U.S. team winning the Olympic gold medal, and then what you saw Sunday, I mean, it's going to live on for generations to come. They're going to watch that game and feel something very special, and might twink somebody to go out and work a little bit harder, maybe take an opportunity to say, I want to set a goal to make the Olympic team, whatever year that may be. So our legacy lived on for 46 years, and now you pass the torch to this next group, and so happy for the players and the support staff and for USA Hockey, because hockey was a real winner that Sunday morning.
Yeah, also want to congratulate trainer Stephanie Arndt and equipment manager Sis Paulson for winning gold as well with Team USA. Mark, thanks for your time. Best of luck in the postseason. This is the fun time, isn't it?
It is. It's enjoyable. I mean, I come home now and the sun doesn't go down till 5:45, 6. I mean, everybody's walking around. You get to meet your neighbors again that you haven't seen all winter long, and people are generally smiling because the weather's nicer, and we know spring's right around the corner.
All right, that's Mark Johnson.
And it's playoff hockey.
It is. That's Mark Johnson. His Badger women take on Bemidji State. Best of 3 WCHA first-round playoff series Friday night at 6, Saturday at 3, Sunday if necessary at 3 o'clock. Then it's off to St. Paul for the WCHA final face-off. My thanks to Mark, Stephanie Olson, and Jay Williams. I'm Brian Posick. Thanks for watching the Badger Hockey Digest.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,